What up? What up?
Whew. Not Biden's presidential chances. That's not. Fucking too soon. Way too soon. I should have let the pod marinate for a little.
That's how you fucking start the pod. Goddammit.
God damn it. What's up, bro? How you doing this week, man?
I'm good, man.
It's been an uneventful week in the world.
Oh yeah, real uneventful. Yo, welcome back, everybody, to the Carbon Footprint Podcast. He is Juan and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit them with a drink of the day.
Listen, man, we were gonna keep the summer of like the tropical drinks going and maybe some rum, but I had to throw a curveball in there this week and do one of our favorites, but in a way that I have never done it before. And we threw down this banana pudding old fashioned. I know it sounds wild.
Let's go.
But it is actually really good. So banana pudding old fashioned, it's 2 bar spoons of Demerara syrup, black walnut bitters, so about 3. The recipe calls, yeah. The recipe calls for like 2 to 3 dashes. I go ham on the bitters, and I do like 5 to 6. So 5 to 6 black walnut bitters, dashes of black walnut bitters. The 2 bar spoons of Demerara syrup, half an ounce of banana liqueur, and 2 ounces of whatever your favorite whiskey, bourbon, rye whiskey is. We got the Eagle Rare up here today.
Ooh,
we've done it with a Maker's 46 too. It was delicious. Even a Buffalo Trace we tried, and it was delicious. So just pick your favorite one. We're agnostic this week as to the one that you
But we got the Eagle Rare posted on the on the YouTube if you guys are watching. So
definitely, yeah, Eagle Rare can't. I mean, some people would call it a crime to mix the Eagle Rare with anything, but it's a good one. But yeah, so throw that in old fashioned. You know, you mix that all up together, stir it really, really well. I tried to build it in just a glass. Sean was right. It tastes better when we built it in the mixing glass because you get that chill.
You get that chill, man.
No, you were right.
Something different about that, bro. Yeah.
Way better. So we built it in a mixer glass with ice. You know, you throw the bitters, you throw the banana liqueur in, the whiskey, the Demerara syrup, stir it up real nice, pour it in a rocks glass. And we garnish with an orange peel, which we always do with our old fashioned. And then something I've never done before, we did bananas, slices of banana with I tried to dip the bananas in the syrup and creme brulee them, almost like torch them, and get that smoky, and it tastes good. The banana tastes amazing afterwards. If you let the banana sit in the drink, if you're on YouTube, while you drink it,
mine's in there. Cheers, people.
And they just soak. Yeah, man, they soak in there, and the banana slices taste delicious afterwards. So you're kind of getting a healthy thing in there too at the same time.
You gotta get your potassium in there.
Yeah. It helps. Potassium helps with the hangover. So not that you typically would with the Eagle Rare and all that. Usually you're all right, but you're drinking alcohol, potassium can't hurt. But yeah, first time giving this a shot, I was like, I think I told you, I was like, man, this is either going to be a disaster or it's pretty delicious. It's awesome. I love different variations on the old fashioned. Anytime you can see something that is a different way for making it. And I like what I really loved about this one is that it wasn't just me changing like the bitter. It was a new bitter, a new liqueur to throw into it, a new syrup. It was like,
that was good, man.
It was good. So, this is great. So try it. I know it's not.
Not it was good. It is good, people. So try it out.
Right, it is good. So cheers. Great old fashioned. I might have to add this to the rotation. It was the first one took me a while, but it's actually not that bad to make once I sort of got it down.
Once you got it down?
Yeah. It's pretty good, man. And Demerara syrup, you can make it on your own, buying Demerara sugar and then water. So it's like two parts to one. So 2 parts of the sugar and 1 of the water. They didn't have that here, so I used I'm gonna fucking say it wrong, but the sugar that starts with a T, the tuberons, whatever the fuck. I went to public school. I don't know what it's called, but and I made it.
I wonder if it matters, bro. You could probably do simple syrup and probably still be fine.
Yeah. I think you could do simple syrup fine. Typically, the Demerara syrup is like supposed to be the old fashioned. Like the rule is like the dark syrup, which is what you would get at Demerara. You do that for dark liqueur, and then simple syrup you do it for clear liqueurs like gin, vodka. You would use it. That's like the rule, and like in like the bougie bartending world. It's not what we do. We use simple syrup with a bunch of shit, but it's like
we're a little bougie.
So we've done a little bit of everything, but. Or you can order Demerara syrup, which oddly enough, I couldn't find it even at like Total Wine, who normally has everything.
Oh, really?
Couldn't even find it there in stock. As far as like in person, you could order it, but Amazon has it, so you can order on Amazon and get it on Prime.
They got everything.
But yeah. So you can order it online and get the Demerara syrup, but you won't have to make it yourself. But honestly, if you have the sugar and it's literally sugar water, and you let it cook in a saucepan for a few minutes on medium heat, and just don't let it boil and stir it just until the sugar dissolves, and it's fine. It tastes good. I might have to make that and bottle it so that we just have it all the time. If I don't just order a bottle off Amazon, but it's so simple to make. If I can just go find the bag of Demerara sugar, it's like $3 for a bag. So
good luck.
Yeah. But anyway, try it. Great old fashioned, great take. I mean, you guys know, if you listen to this, we have way too many old fashions, but they don't get old. So.
No, they really don't. And if you have a bourbon that you like, definitely this one is added to the rotation. It's pretty good.
It's so good. And I'm a big fan of banana. And anything banana and chocolate, banana and peanut butter, banana and like, so just adding banana to an old fashioned for me is like sweet. Like I'll take it. So,
all right, man. Hit me with your carbon footprint. What you got,
bro? I mean, I had to do I don't know what was the talk of the world this week, which was, and we're not politics people here. I promise you, I hate talking about politics, but just the Joe Biden sort of pulling out of the 2024 presidential election, I think, was the story for many reasons. The historic nature of it, the timing of it, everything. Obviously, we're coming off the attempted assassination of Trump, the other presidential nominee. Could this have been a time where we had both presidential nominees, 3 months before the election, pull out? Well, one of them not by choice, and then the other one pulls out. Like, there's just so much about this.
I didn't think about that, bro.
Yeah, man, we live in, every generation must have said this, but I always go back to like, what a time to be alive, and we always joke about this, but it's like, seriously, like, what a time to be alive. Like people are going to read history books one day and go back. Like, I don't give a fuck about the politics. It's just like what's happening has been so historic on both sides.
I think about our kids.
Oh my God, yeah.
Our kids have lived through like a pandemic, attempted assassination, a guy dropping out of a race. I want to say, and don't quote me on this, folks, the last time somebody dropped out was definitely before I was born. So I was born in 1974.
Okay.
So it was before that. I read about it. I can't recall who it was that actually pulled out, but it was before my time. And man, like to live through these things, and then Biden dropping out of the race. I think that after seeing the debate where people went like, oh shit, like it's not just a TikTok meme.
No, it's
like this guy is really like
something wrong.
There's something going on there, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people, and especially like people that typically vote Democrat, going, like, and like, hey, he's too old, or like, I'm not even going to vote, whatever. Now, Kamala looks like the I guess the incumbent, right?
Yeah, it seems like she's going to be the official nominee. Yeah,
right. I think. And I didn't know that this would be the case, but it seems like she has reignited the base.
Yeah, do you think it was a change? Yeah, like I don't want to call it the shock, but like, yeah, that's a good word. It's like reignited, like there's an excitement that's been sort of rejuvenated in that party. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, cause I think there was kind of a sort of a...
Like morale was really
doom and gloom.
Yeah,
right? Doom and gloom, right. And just like, like... No one's gonna vote for this guy, and obviously the age thing was really big.
Yeah.
And so if that was your reason for perhaps not going to vote, or perhaps not voting for Biden, that's no longer an issue. You figure that Kamala is gonna still have the same team around her, maybe with the exception of maybe a few people, but you would imagine, right? Like because like we have these figureheads, right? So right now Biden is the president, but there's a team of people around him.
Sure, yeah, right. He's not
right?
making this.
Yeah,
he's not like running the country.
King.
Yeah.
Right. And so you would imagine that if you, for whatever reason, like if you liked the way that the team was kind of running things, then you go, okay, well, we got a new figurehead, but the team is still in place.
Yeah, run it back. Yeah, with the same team. It's funny, man. I've gone on both extremes of this in terms of my, not emotionally, because I really didn't care. I know that sounds bad, but like just mentally, like thinking through this. Like I initially went, oh, the Democrats are conceding this election. Like you're going to throw in Kamala. You know, in my opinion and based on my observations the last few years, it seems like they just hidden Kamala away for 4 years. Like, I forget that she's even the VP.
Right.
And that's not a knock on what she has or hasn't done. I just don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know enough. And I feel like...
Dude, most Americans feel like that, I believe.
Yeah. I would think no matter what side... I know, like, right, if you're right side, you hate her. If you're left side, you, like, way extreme
And the
left,
one
you
thing
love
that
her,
she
but-
has gotten media attention for, which was a negative, was, hey, Kamala was in charge of the border, and she fucked that
And
up.
she fucked it. Yeah, and so...
That's the only thing that I even know that she's done or not done, right?
I didn't even know that.
No, okay.
Other than the initial thing with the border where they were sending like buses full of people to the like
Right.
that, but I didn't even know it was like a talking point of like, you know, her being shitty at her job. I just thought this person must be so bad, because in politics you go, the less they put you in the media, the less that means I assume they just don't want you to talk or be seen or
Right.
you know, like, and so, you know, like most VPs get a lot of TV time too, and they get a lot, and I just felt like she.
But do you think that's
hidden
true,
away.
bro? If you think back, so prior to this, I mean, I don't feel, and again, I could be wrong. I don't feel like Pence got a lot of media coverage. Prior to that, I don't feel like Biden got a lot of media coverage. Prior to that, I don't feel like is it Cheney?
Cheney? Yeah.
Cheney was out shooting fucking turkeys and shit, man.
Like shooting people in the face. Not turkeys.
No.
He was shooting humans in the face.
Turkeys. Sorry, man. I didn't put the air quotes around it. But no, man. So like, I feel like over time, you never really knew who the hell. I mean, you knew, but you didn't know.
I guess my pushback to that would be I never forgot that Joe Biden was the VP. And then with Trump and Pence, I think the difference there is that Trump is so overwhelming in terms of like his presence,
So he
and
got
popularity,
so Pence got a
both
pass.
negatively and positively. Yeah. But and then, dude, like, I don't want to get too far away here. Pence is also a VP who served for president who isn't endorsing the guy who picked him, you know, to be vice president, which is another conversation in itself.
Right.
Like that guy, you know, Trump gave you the opportunity to be VP and all that stuff, and then obviously we know everything that happened with the January 6th thing and all that, and Pence being like, you know, so there's layers to this, but not supporting him either on his second run, him not picking you,
crazy.
It's kind of crazy, right? It's unprecedented, and that just makes this whole thing. It just adds another like layer of, you know, to the documentary or the fucking story or the history books one day. But I think with Kamala, like, I forget. I have to think about when they're like, "Who's vice president?" I'm like, "Oh fuck!" Like, and I've never had that in my life.
And I agree, but you know what? I also think that my expectation when Biden was voted in as president, because of his age and because he picked a much younger VP, I thought that she would be more present.
Right.
Because,
Yes.
right, so that was my expectation. So
Yes.
I feel like my expectation wasn't met. And then I was like, man, I never fucking see her. But if I think back to when George W. was in there, I never saw Cheney.
No. We knew Cheney more because of the movie, and then we knew Cheney more about because he was shooting turkeys. Quote unquote. If you're listening through audio, you can't see our faces, our hands. But then with Biden, I think you always saw like the bro, like the bro memes between him and Obama, and it was like, you know, like
very true.
like you just it was a viral thing. You never forgot who it was. You know, it was like you just kind of just knew he was there. Yeah. And with Kamala, I'm like, yo, we forget. But I go again, to be fair, is that because Biden, the conversation has been dominated about his sort of health and his age? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
So I feel like you know, like, at least for me, I had hoped, because I didn't know shit about Kamala, right? And it's just like, okay, well, he's picking this young person. This person should be vocal, because if this guy kicks the bucket, I want to know who the fuck is behind it.
Yeah. No,
and then for 3 years, I didn't hear shit from her.
Nothing. And that's what makes it weird. So I went to like, oh, you must be conceding this because of all the things we just talked about, where I didn't know who she was, or not that I didn't know who she was, I just kind of forget she's there, right? And I went, man, you're conceding. I guess you prepared the next 4 years, and hopefully you try to win the next one. And that's sort of where I was for a couple of days. And then, because I went, man, you have to be scrambling. How do you figure this out? You only have a couple months. And then, I don't know what happened, like a couple days in, I'm thinking about, man, what's Trump thinking right now? And then I went, fuck, if you're Trump, are you going, my entire strategy has been on knocking this guy's age. And suddenly, I'm the old guy. I'm the 80-year-old going against someone 20-something years younger than me.
Right.
And who Biden is a lifelong politician, but he clearly wasn't all there and can't rebut any of my arguments with any coherent sort of argument. And irrespective of what you think of Kamala, is a lifelong politician, is an Ivy League educated, is, for all intents and purposes, probably a pretty sharp, smart, intelligent woman. And so you put her on a stage with Trump in a debate and will probably eat him alive in terms of facts and knowing sort of the nuance of things. I absolutely think so.
I don't know.
I think what will happen, though, is what happens in every political debate is that the right and the left don't care. The right will eat up Trump being the loud one and the funny one, and just being boisterous and just spewing shit about how, because Trump will say something like, you're wrong, everybody hates you, we didn't know you were VP, right? And then people will go, nothing factual, or will say a bunch of lies, and then people eat into it, right? And then Kamala will say shit that is twisted the way politicians twist things, and the left will eat that up and then do that stuff. And then so the people that you're fighting for are the people sort of in the middle. And so you go, then you force yourself to have to Google shit, because you have to go, well, fucking 90% of the shit Trump says is made up or is full of emotion, and him just, Trump is the emotional person in an argument who just says shit to hurt, who says shit to just hurt you, right?
Right.
And then there's the one person who says shit that's true, but it's also true with omitting details that are, that also help shape the argument. So it's not the total truth. It's like what you would have in like a Kamala, because she's a lifelong politician, or lawyer, which is the same thing. And so you just you're getting bullshit from both of them, right? And so you have to decipher the bullshit that is like intelligent bullshit, and then you have to decipher the bullshit that's just like one of your boys and your homies, which is like what Trump sort of like is.
Dude, I feel like I don't think that this has changed who people are voting for. However, I do feel like if you are sort of a Democrat and you were kind of on the fence of I don't know if I'm going to vote or not, this may energize you to go vote.
Yeah, you had the perfect word earlier. It may reignite you. Here's the thing. I think if you leave everybody indoors right now, it doesn't change the election at all, to your point. I think it seemed very much like Trump's going to win this election, do all that stuff. I think more than anything now, and this is why I go, if you're Trump, are you in a panic now, is that you can fuck this up now the same way he sort of fumbled COVID. You go, can you now fumble this because this wasn't what you were planning, this wasn't what you expected? Did you go too hard on Biden that you forced him to resign, and are you going, fuck, I should have waited to do this end of October, not in July where they can still make the change? Like, And I'd like, dude, and the thing is, the Democrats are so shitty at strategy that I expect them to fuck this up. So, like, because there's so many routes you can take here. Even putting in someone new that no one's ever heard of, that maybe you suddenly, like you said, you get re-energized. People are like, oh, I don't know who this person is. Maybe they're great. You know, there's a couple of, like, sort of up-and-comers that they have. There's the guy from Pennsylvania. I know, like, I follow politics so little now that I don't really know who everybody is. But I'm like, this is a good opportunity.
Josh Shapiro.
Yes, Shapiro.
So he is, so to that point, him and then Mark Kelly, who is the guy from Arizona.
The guy from Arizona, yeah. The astronaut.
Former astronaut, former Navy fighter pilot, right? So, like, those are the two kind of front runners for her VP pick. Is Josh Shapiro, is he a liability because of his religion? And because of the whole, like, Gaza, Israel shit going on?
It's a great point, but that's a great point. But also, it is a liability again to the center people. The people who are far left suddenly will forget that they're very woke when it comes to that, and the people who are far right will, like I think, man, all these things. It's like the people who believe in extremes aren't changing their minds. Though they change their mind about you. They don't change their mind about voting for you. They'll just figure out a way to fit you into their, like people did this with Trump. Narrative. Like remember when suddenly even like all the Christians in your life were like, oh, but Trump is a Christian and he's a he means well and all that stuff. And you're just like, no, like he's a piece of shit. You're allowed to say that. Just say that you vote Republican and that's why you want to vote for him. Like don't try to make him out to seem like this, like suddenly like no, he's a Christian man and it's all that stuff. Like no, but they found a way to fit it into their beliefs.
Dude, if you want to have someone be a good guy or a bad guy, you can make that shit right in your head.
Absolutely. And I think that's what people will do for the left and the right. I think people will figure out a way to make it fit their narrative and to justify it in their head. And I say that to say either way they're voting for him, right? The far left is voting for him either way. Same way the far right is voting for Trump either way. It doesn't matter. You have to have a sexy pick, I think, for VP in order for her to have a chance to win. Because I think that VP pick, here's the other thing, is like going back to Trump's like strategy now where it's him freaking out. Does he pick J.D. Vance if he knows Biden's dropping out? I don't think he does.
Ooh.
I think he changes his VP pick if he knows that this is coming. I think it's almost like your strategy was too good, too early, and you sort of got the result you wanted, but not when you wanted it. Like, you wanted people to think this and the party to think this about Biden October 15th. Yeah. You didn't want this to happen July 15th. So it's like, or actually June, because, right, like people have been calling for the last 4 weeks since the debate for people to, right? And so, like, you wanted to do this maybe September, October. You didn't want to do this 4 months before the election because...
Yeah, but they had to. He had to. He had to do it by the RNC.
No, absolutely. But I'm talking as far as, like, getting Biden out of there. It's like you went too hard. Like if you're Trump, I mean, we're playing Monday morning quarterback here, but it's like, do you... Again,
like hindsight 2020.
Yeah, I'm just like putting myself in his shoes. Are you going, fuck, my whole strategy involved, like, I could smoke this guy, I can outwit him, I can be smarter than, I don't have to know politics better than him, because you're not. Like, listen, say what you want about Joe Biden, he's been a fucking politician for 60 years, he knows his way around Washington, around the shit works, and around whatever. That doesn't mean you have to agree with his politics, but if you're gonna go and put him up against a Trump, like, you're not gonna be able to win that on a sort of like intellectual basis when it comes to policy. That doesn't mean that that Trump or Biden is better than Trump. That just means you're not going to talk coherently about policy better than Biden. You're just not, right? He's been doing it for a long time. I don't have to agree with his politics, but I do have to respect the fact that he knows the way it works. And he knows the way the international politics works and foreign policy and, like domestic shit, like way better than Trump will.
Dude, here's the thing that kind of got me a little bit, which was he drops out. Now, typically, to get for the Democratic Party in this case to vote somebody in, right, or to put up their front runner as the president or as the candidate, you got to go through primaries.
Yeah, you have to vote.
Dude, none of that shit happened.
Which makes
they were able to bypass all of that shit.
Oh, democracy. You mean the Democratic Party bypass democracy?
Yeah. Like, they got to basically go, oh, because we're so close, we don't have to do that. We're going to, internally, we're going to put up who we think can win.
Yeah. Which makes you wonder, again, and I don't want to give them credit because, again, the Democrats are dog shit at strategy. But if you're pulling good strategy, right, if someone else is pulling the strings behind the scenes,
right,
it's kind of what you should have done.
It's kind of genius.
It's kind of genius. It's a smart move. I just don't want to give them that credit because I don't think that they're that smart.
And the other thing is that no one's, you know what, and it just shows, but like, we as a people, most of us don't give a fuck. No. Because in reality, right, it's like if we were really like worried about our democratic process, we would have been like, hold on, like time out. This guy's dropping out. Okay, what does that mean? How do we do this? Maybe the fucking election is...
Let's rerun the primary.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's do that. Maybe the election is now maybe it's not in November. Maybe it's in early 2025
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Time to do this.
We need time to do this.
Who's in
process.
second place in the primaries?
That's right.
Like, does that person... like, does this lead to policy change to that point? Like, it's a great point. Like what should this have been like? And then do you see this become a strategy moving forward? Like, do you like, I hate to use like a sports analogy in this, but it's very similar in like the like, do you tank? Do you put someone out there
to get the pick?
You know what I mean? Like, do you put someone out there that and then force the other side to sort of strategize, build their team, to go, and then you go psych, and then you put in someone that is going to sort of invigorate the base and whatever. Like, I don't know. You would think that this is going to have some kind of impact moving forward, in some capacity. The other one I saw thrown out there was like Gavin Newsom, which adds an interesting wrinkle because of the 12th Amendment. Is you can have Gavin Newsom run with Kamala Harris, but then you sort of give up California because they're both residents of California. You can't count the electoral votes, and so like,
you can't.
You can't.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So because I'm going to fuck up the wording here, but the 12th Amendment essentially basically says like your party has to be made up of two people from two different like resident states, so then it sort of throws away the electoral college, and California is a big one, so you don't want to throw that one away. Yeah. So
it's the biggest one.
So you give up. Yeah. So you win an election without California? You'd have to dominate the rest of the country, and that's almost impossible, right? So you
need that state.
From a strategy standpoint, you can't bring in Gavin Newsom. Not to mention, he fucked up COVID so just epically.
Here's the thing with Gavin Newsom, man, and you got to remember, people, this is a popularity contest. I don't give a fuck what y'all say.
I know exactly where you're going, and I think you're right.
He's fucking good looking. Mm-hmm. He's tall. And he can talk.
And he's charismatic as fuck. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think people will forget. They'll be like, oh, that guy is good on camera. No, you're not wrong, bro. Dude, we've never voted an ugly guy in. Like, we might vote an old guy, and people might go, they're hideous. But if you compare them to the rest of the people that we're running against, we always vote the better looking person in. It's very seldom do we vote like an ogre in the office.
Right.
Like, you've always, look, Barack Obama. Super charismatic, could talk his ass off, could do it stuff. George Bush, like endearing, charming, obviously comes from the Bush family, has that, oh shucks y'all, kind of thing, like very likable. Not a hideous guy,
No, definitely not.
Donald Trump, fucking 6'4", big, dominates the room. This is why Ross Perot lost every fucking time, right?
Did he run more than once?
Oh, didn't Ross Perot run or try to? I don't know, but like
he actually got a good chunk of the vote when he ran in 1992, I believe.
Yeah, the Clinton run.
Yeah, the Clinton.
Charismatic.
Yep.
Good looking dude. It's
plays the sax.
Ronald Reagan, fucking George one. Yeah. We don't vote ugly people in, man. Just say what you want.
Dude, now here's the other thing that I struggle with personally, is that my initial reaction for Kamala Harris was like, no, again, I haven't seen her for 3 years. I don't know if she would be a good leader. When she has spoken, I haven't been that impressed, right? But then I also go, why, like as a half black man, how do I not give that opportunity to a half black woman to kind of move at least that piece forward?
Dude, and I hate people. Fuck.
I don't want to listen. Race, unfortunately, like I hate to bring in race, but we can't ignore race in this country.
No, you're absolutely right. The thing is that like, right, like you will get like a vast majority of white people who will say, why would you do that, right? Like I don't get that,
right?
I don't, because and it's because you've never had to go. I
never had to
move my
fight
people
for that.
forward.
That's
You
right.
never had to fight, right? Like because to your point, you like, and some of us do it, and we know it's wrong, but you go, I almost owe my, like it's a battle. Like I want my people to earn it, but I also know how the world works, and so you have to give. You have to like try to give an opportunity to someone to almost prove that you can do it, right? Like, you know, it's the Barack thing. Like, I don't care what you thought about his politics, right or wrong or whatever. Like we've talked about this on here before. Barack had to be so flawless as a human being.
Bro, he was easy to vote for.
Like
you know what I'm saying? He made it easy for us to like
the running joke in the black community was like he's not really black, right? Like the guy had to be flawless, right? Like you couldn't have any baby mama drama. You couldn't have,
right.
You know, like you think about if any minority showed up with the sort of like the Trump's life, right? Like multiple baby mamas, you know, the bankruptcies, yada yada yada.
Right.
No fucking way, right? And the stereotypes would be flying all over the place. People wouldn't vote for him, whatever. To be like, no, typical fucking brown guy, black guy, whatever. Like, but Barack had to be so perfect, and not in his politics.
And he was
just as a person. He had to be so perfect. And just to get that opportunity, and then to like get the 8 years, and then during it, you go, you know, of course people are going to hate you, right? Because no matter what you are, half the people hate you. But even people who are very far right leaning had to go, yeah, fuck. Like
he's presidential,
right? Like the guy's charismatic. He talks. He dominates a room. He didn't embarrass us in front of the world. It's like cool. Like, but yeah, dude, that's a thing. Like I hate to say it because I'm one of those people. Like I don't want you to give me an opportunity because I'm brown, but I also know what it's like to go, man, I want to see more of my people succeed, and I want to give them the opportunities, and I don't know that they're gonna get that if I'm put in a position to give it to them.
Right.
And that's sort of what voting is like, right? You're like, you're put in a position to put them in there, and you hate it because you go, I want the right person for the job. But I also know that the right person for the job will inevitably be brown or inevitably black, and they won't get it because of that.
Yep.
And so then how do you like, you almost have to like train the world. And that's sort of like what you hope to do, and it sucks because you don't want to do that, like because you hate, like, dude, like, you know, I joke all the time. I'll be the minority hire. I'll be, you know, whatever, like the personality hire. I'll be like,
right.
But deep down, you don't want to be that. You want to feel like you were the person who's qualified for that job.
That's right.
Like,
pick
you know,
me because I'm the best candidate.
But you know, it's a thing, and you know, yeah. So yeah, and there's absolutely going to be people who are going to vote for Kamala because of that. They're going to vote for her because she's a woman, and they're going to vote for her because she's a minority.
Right.
And it's going to be a thing. And I can't even say whether you're wrong because I go, that's no different than voting for her because she's blue or voting for Trump because he's red.
Agreed.
Like, it's no different.
Dude, that is a fucking phenomenal point, and you are absolutely right. It is no different than that. And I've already said on here, like, and I've told you even in private, right, where it's just like, yeah, I'm not voting for red or blue. I'm just going for somebody in the third party. But I will say that this switch and Biden stepping down has made me reconsider it. I haven't made my decision yet.
Yeah.
But it has made me reconsider it. It has reignited even like my excitement for like, oh shit, like who's gonna be, you know, who's gonna be the person? Or and then now it looks like Kamala, but it's like, okay, well, who's gonna be her running mate? Like, I like Shapiro from Pennsylvania. I like Kelly from Arizona. So like, does that sway me as the election gets closer? I don't know.
Yeah, dude. It's funny, man. Fuck. Like, I think the Democrats are so dog shit at strategy that I go, this is a good time to. I understand that Kamala's VP and she's the second in charge and whatever. Like, and it's almost like she deserves a chance to be there or whatever, like if you want to go that route. I also think that you have an opportunity here to completely shake shit up and make shit interesting. And quite frankly, we love fucking drama. We love shaking shit up.
They did it, bro. This is a fucking reality show right now, bro.
Absolutely is. Throw another celebrity in there, bro. And then you go celebrity versus celebrity. Like, Trump's not a politician. At the end of the day, he's the host to The Apprentice and, a hotelier. And, like, that's what he is. And he's a celebrity. And so you can throw someone, like, I know he's already been president, and so that gives him sort of a one-up against another celebrity, but he's a celebrity. That's what he is. And so, like, what was it, the celebrity in chief? Like, we called them a lot of the time, was like, this is a good opportunity to go, like, can you get someone else, because it is a popularity contest, and you could win it on a fluke because of just how odd this is, and because you're running against an 80-year-old Trump now, and because, like, you throw someone in there who's just a celebrity who people like. Yep. Because I go, dude, if The Rock decided to run right now, which I don't even think he would, I go, he'd probably fucking win. And it sounds bananas. Dude, the other person that I wish would, and I know wouldn't, Mark Cuban. Dude, throw your hat into the ring and go, you know what? I don't think Kamala's the right person. Like, who doesn't back Mark Cuban? And then I go, I'd fucking vote for him. I don't even need to hear what his policy is. I know Mark Cuban, the person, and what he's done as the owner of the Mavericks, and what he's done as, from for the pharmaceutical industry, and what he's done, and all of that could have been in preparation for a presidential run. And he's fooled me, and he's played me, doing that. Yeah. Kudos to him. I don't give a fuck.
But you've made me like you.
But you've made me like you, and you've made me like your boldness, and like I'd vote for that, right? Like, dude, there's even, bro, I hate to say it, Robert Kennedy, who's run as an independent, and like I joke around about a lot because I can't vote for someone who can't yell and the voice and all that. But I go, but you're so different and you're so out there, and you'd make me think about it if you ran, because I go, we all know if I vote for someone else, it's not going to matter. So you have to vote for red or blue. And so, like,
no, fuck that. Stop saying that shit.
I know.
I understand why you say it.
But a vote for an independent is a vote for a particular candidate.
But which one?
Like, it used to be a vote for Trump, right? Like, the more votes you take away from Biden, it's a vote for Trump. I don't know what that means anymore, right? Like the polls will decide that moving forward, right? Yeah. But dude, Trump is gonna get people to show up, and that's the other thing is, like, the Democrats didn't have anyone that ignited their base. To your point before, like what you're saying, where like reinvigorated people, like who were like, there was people out there who went like, oh, I want Trump, I want Biden in there, but they're not leaving their house to vote that day. I think what Kamala did, to your point, was it made people sort of like excited again, and they went, I'm gonna go out and vote for her. Right. There was a thing, man, years ago when Hillary first ran against Trump. There was a thought I had at the time. My daughter was, my daughter might have been 6 or 7 years old at the time. Okay. And I remember thinking, and Hillary was running. And so what we were talking about earlier about just voting for someone because they're brown or whatever, like, I remember thinking, man, this is so cool. Like, it didn't mean I agreed with Hillary's politics. It didn't mean I agreed with her as a human being. But I remember just thinking, being able to look at my daughter and go, like you remember in elementary school when they showed you all the presidents of the United States and you had that banner across the thing, and it's like men, all the way down for 45 of them, right? And I just remember thinking, like, man, I can tell my daughter, like, hey, that's fucking possible for you now because there was a woman who had at least made the attempt, right? Like, and that's, again, that's meaningful. Like, I like being able to look at your kid, and maybe it took that for me to think that, right? Like that's the selfishness in all of us, where like I never thought about that before, but having my daughter, I remember at the time, and I might have even made like a Facebook post about it, going like, man, I don't know, like, forget politics aside, being able to tell my daughter that, hey, it is possible for you to run for president of the United States of America
and be elected.
Is something that, like, wouldn't have seemed possible at a point in time, and I wouldn't have appreciated that as a woman or as a girl or whatever. But if I'm looking at my daughter and she's like, hey, I want to be this, and she would have told me she wanted to be president, and she's looking at the banner and it's fucking white guys for, like again, all for 200 something years. Yep. It's like, it's hard to sell that. But when somebody does it and finally crosses that threshold, it doesn't matter what you think about them, but they broke that barrier. There was something in that for me emotionally where I went, man, this is cool. Like, this is something that she can strive for.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. Like we don't have that emotional attachment now, other than like the brown thing. But we've already done that, right? With Barack, or like there isn't something that invigorates us now, I guess.
But now you have even like you could have pointed, right? Had Hillary won, you could have pointed to that. Now, if Kamala wins, it's your daughter can look at that and go like, oh shit, she looks like me.
Yeah, she's a woman and she's brown.
Yeah,
absolutely. And again, there's going to be a lot of people who listen to this who won't understand that. And what I will say is, like, I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't understand, like, what it meant to feel good about something like that. Like, because I don't want to. I don't, you know, like, I never approach my life with, like, a woe is me because I'm this color or whatever. But I can only speak from, like, experience. Yep. And I know what life has been like in this, like, skin. And so, like, and I know what life has been like watching my kids interact in that skin. And so, like, you don't want that to be the thing, but it unfortunately is. And when you get people who are like, you know, typically you'll get like white people who make this argument like, whoa, it shouldn't matter. It's like, I know, I wish I thought like you. Right. I don't want to, like, but you don't know what it's like to be me. You don't know what it's like to wake up and experience these things, or go to work, or go to school, or go to the playground, or go, like, you don't know what that's like, and I don't want to feel that way.
Yeah,
like, dude, it sucks that I do.
We talked about this shit probably years ago, man. When you took your kids to see the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah,
you know, it's like even growing up, like our superheroes didn't look like us.
No,
and then now there's more and more of that, right? There's more and more superheroes that sort of look like us, look like our kids. And maybe when I was a kid, I didn't really look at it through that lens. But I remember you telling me that your son seeing Miles Morales and he goes, oh shit, like he didn't say oh shit, but he says like, oh yeah, he looks like me.
Dude, it was, yeah, that shit will. I never thought about that, right? And I'm a brown kid. I love superheroes. I love Spider-Man, but he did. Yeah, like I never thought about that in my life, right? Like I love Spider-Man. Like people who know me know my obsession with Batman, who's a rich white guy, right? Like I just like I never really gave it that much thought. And yeah, like my son seeing Miles Morales, who has hair like him, skin color like him, that stuff, and he was so geeked out, and I didn't even know who Miles Morales was until Enter the Spider-Verse. Like, I'll be real, and I've read comics and I've watched it, like, and I'm like, and to see him go like, oh, like, wow, like, you know, he looks, and it's just like, fuck, man, like kids notice. You could take it back to the princess. I want to go to girls. Like, we've had Disney princesses that were black, you know, but you get the far and few in between. Even something as different as the ginger princess made a big, like my daughter's favorite princess at one point in time, and the one that she played around was like Merida from Brave. You know, she's a redhead and she's a little sort of she's not like the prim and proper princess, right? She's, you know,
a little crazy,
and even that struck her differently, right? Like to take race out of it, it was like it wasn't her race, it was just even her demeanor and how she behaved and how she acted. She wasn't the like, hey, you have to be this pretty, you know, and dress a certain way, and it was like you can't be outside playing with fucking bow and arrows or whatever, you know, like even that like was like she loved her, was obsessed with her, and she, you know, she liked the other one, she liked, you know, Aurora, and she loves Cinderella and all that. But yeah,
and I think the point is like, I mean, you have to have people in powerful positions and positions of prominence that you can identify with.
Absolutely.
Whether it's your skin color or whether it's your personality or whatever the case, man, we need like our children to be able to look at people in powerful positions and be like, yo, I identify with that person.
Dude, you can take that and go the other way, right? Like Eminem is huge in hip hop, right? Immensely talented, greatest, you know, in some people's list, greatest lyricist of all time, greatest rapper of all time, yada yada. A lot of that has to do with the fact that he's dominating he's talented, right? But it's a predominantly black dominated genre or art form, right? And so you could flip that on its head, right? Like where you see rap, you go, man, black people are amazing at rap. It's dominated by that. And so when you have a white person who sort of like penetrates that culture, it lets a white kid know, hey, I can.
It's possible.
You know, like a G-Eazy, fucking Logic, whatever, looks at that and goes, oh, I can get into that, right? Like, they see the Beastie Boys and they see, like, oh, I can, you know, like, that's the same thing. Like,
dude, Caitlin Clark in WNBA.
In basketball, yeah. Like, the fact that people didn't want to acknowledge the fact that, like, people tried to use race as a negative thing of like, oh, she's only getting the attention because she's white and
no, she just inspired a lot of people that look like her.
I go, no. Part of the reason she's getting attention is because she's white, but it's not because she's white and people want to give her a shoe deal because she's white. It's because she's white and dominating a predominantly black sport is why it's a big deal, and it's a thing. Like,
when Tiger dominated golf, guess what? He got the same deals. He got better deals.
He got better deals. But it's a sport predominantly dominated by white. And so like, it works in both directions. It's just that like the things are different that they do. It's just I think, you know, we want to get to a space where that's not a thing and races aren't thinking it's a thing, or people aren't thinking that they're either getting opportunities or not getting opportunities or whatever. But it's just unfortunately the reality of the life a lot of us live. Yeah. And we don't want to, man. Like, I listen, for fucking most of us, like, the last thing I want to ever think about is like I didn't or did get something because of the color of my skin or or my last name or whatever. You know, like, we don't want that shit. Like, I definitely don't want to hand out for that.
All right, man, we went really long on that. Sorry, folks. My carbon footprint of the week.
Goddamn, 45 minutes in.
No, are we serious?
Yeah. Longest carbon footprint ever, probably.
All right, my carbon footprint of the week, we might only be doing carbon footprints this week, is going out to CrowdStrike.
Oof.
And for those of y'all who was fucking traveling last week, I'm sorry for you. So CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity firm, and they basically offer the software that runs on Windows. Not sure if it runs on Mac as well, but runs on Windows. And we all know that Windows is used predominantly throughout the business.
Does anyone use Apple for their fucking enterprise system? Like, you're just being an asshole at that point in time. Okay. Other than Apple, does anyone run their enterprise systems on Apple? Like,
So these guys offer essentially just a way to protect your systems against attacks, right? Yeah. They sent out an update, and the update was really like no good. And essentially what it did was it prevented, if your computer was left on overnight when it got this, and it got this, and I say overnight because we live in the US.
Yeah.
And mine was my computer was actually one of the ones that was affected. If you got the update, essentially what it did was it gave you the blue screen, which is usually refers to as a blue screen of death.
Yeah.
And then if you turn your computer on or you turn your computer off and then turn it back on, this update didn't allow Windows to boot up fully.
That's fucking insane.
It's fucking insane.
And dude, you know how big was this file? Because I think that's the part that fascinates me the most about this whole thing.
Dude, and so it happened to my computer, and then in order to rectify the problem, you had to start the computer in safe mode, which probably most people don't know how to do, but it's fine. It's not a difficult process. Started in safe mode. You go to the folder where this file exists. I didn't look at the size of the file because I just didn't think about it, but I went back in and I looked at similar files in that directory. Okay. They're all like, I don't know, 10 kilobytes or less.
Okay.
Some of them are a little bit bigger, but nothing crazy. 10 kilobytes, people, if you think about if you have a decent picture that you've taken, it's probably somewhere between 3,000 to 5,000 kilobytes.
So 10 kilobytes, is it a Word document?
No, bro, it's not even a Word. It's probably like a notepad.
You
know what I'm saying? It's a really small file.
You told me that over, I had no idea. And you told me that over text when we were talking about it. And I was like, what? Like, wait, what?
Insane. Insane. And then I was just like, how, like, this thing brought down. So essentially, if you're running Windows and if you're in a company, we don't turn off our computers. Like the computers that we have running databases and running systems that the users use to run their day-to-day business, right? Those things run 24 hours a day. If those shits were on, they were off when we came in the morning. Or
so if you were off, you were able to boot up in safe mode.
Well, because by the time, and again, this is U.S. time. This whole shit happened around 3 a.m., I believe.
Okay.
And so if your computer was off, and then CrowdStrike was really good at about responding and pushing out a correction.
Okay.
If your computer was off and you were in the U.S. and you came in at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and you turn your computer on, you were fine. But like for me, I leave my computer on because like even our internal teams push out updates, in off hours.
Yeah. You work for a 24-hour business.
That's right. So I put the computer sort of in sleep, but it's on. Or I might just lock it, right? And but it's on.
But it's on. Yeah.
And so we spent probably a good, obviously working really hard on Friday to correct this on the machines that had it, because they would just not boot up. Like you had to boot up in safe mode, remove the file, and then reboot. Like that was the process.
Did this interrupt day-to-day business?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bro.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I found was, once I got the instructions for the fix, I was able to fix it pretty quickly. But I remember before I got the instructions for the fix, I sat back and I go, I can't work.
Now, did the instructions come from CrowdStrike?
They did.
Okay.
They did, and it wasn't like I didn't get it from them, but it got passed to me.
Okay.
So yes, CrowdStrike was basically like, hey, start your computer in safe mode. Browse to this directory, look for a file named this, delete it, and then reboot. And it was fine.
And stop me, or just tell me you can't answer because I know both of us have like obviously connections to the corporate world where you're not allowed to just say certain things, but. Fuck, how do I word this?
Just ask a question.
Yeah, I guess. Is it like at that moment in time, is it catastrophic for you guys, or are you going like, hey, CrowdStrike, you guys fucked this up royally? Like, what are you like what's that interaction like with CrowdStrike?
By the time that we came in, there was already sort of a fix in place, and then everybody's scrambling to now update this across a few hundred servers.
Yeah.
Not to mention if you have users at home like myself who leave their computers on overnight.
Yeah, no, dude. When you told me that, I was like trying to wrap my head around a few hundred, which makes total sense, like based on where you work. But like, I was unaffected in my professional life.
If you weren't running CrowdStrike, you're fine.
Yeah, it was but it was. You're almost wishing you were that day because everyone else is like, hey, I'm just sitting around doing nothing. But
no, but I think that piece of me going like there was a point of where I'm going like, okay, I can't do anything. I haven't been sent the remedy yet.
Right.
So I'm sitting back and I'm going, okay, do I have the day off? And then I'm going, how fucking vulnerable are we, and how reliant are we on tech, and how vulnerable are we where this little fucking file has taken down what seems to be like the world, right? Like it's crazy. It's just like, the news articles came out. It's just like, they were downing planes, they were canceling flights, and people couldn't get home, or it was crazy. And then I know that we also like worked through the weekend, trying to get all the servers kind of back up, right? Because there's a lot. I'm sure other companies were in similar situations. And then even getting into Monday, there was still companies still having problems with this. So it was just like, man, like what a fucking like. And no, people were like, it was not a cyber attack. It wasn't anything. No. It was basically like CrowdStrike putting out an update that somebody didn't fucking test, or they didn't test properly.
It's funny, man, when you said cyber attack, one of my first thoughts, just thinking from a business perspective, was like, oh man, the cyber attack, like policyholders, if you're in insurance, must be freaking the fuck out. But then I'm like, well, wait, this isn't a cyber attack.
It's not.
But is it enough to be a business interruption insurance policy? And then like that has a snowball effect, which like, you know, like making your carbon footprint is like, yeah, sure, the pausing the world and all that stuff, and we're gonna go down a rabbit hole here now of like what that means. But also from a financial standpoint, there are so many companies that, depending on your insurance policy, who could have put in claims for this, like for business interruption.
Oh, like, I didn't think about that.
Dude, right now Delta is still canceling. I think they're up to like 5,000 flights that they've canceled.
That is insane,
bro. Spirit Airlines is sitting back somewhere running off a Game Boy, laughing their ass off. Like,
what's a CrowdStrike?
What's a CrowdStrike? Yeah. We don't allow crowds at our takeoffs. We don't even like baseball. They're just fucking like, it's, and again, maybe I may have a misunderstanding of what some of these insurance policies do, but like, and based on my experience, there's like business interruption insurance you can have certain places. I don't even know if this qualifies, but it may, depending on how long it was down. It absolutely might. I would think that canceling 5,000 flights, if you're Delta Airlines, from a financial perspective, what that absolutely has to qualify. Yeah, I know where you work, and being down 24 hours, potentially even 12 hours there on a global scale,
right?
How much that means dollar-wise. Like, does that qualify? Like, it's just... those are the things I was thinking about, because it was like, yeah, it's the inconvenience not being able to fly, and that, but then there's the financial impact. But then, to your point, I went, dude, how vulnerable are we to a, you know, like I think we've talked about this on the air before. It's like the next major attack, it's not going to be a physical attack. It's going to be tech. It's going to be shutting down our grid, quote unquote. It's going to be, you know, if you take the internet out of the United States, like, period. Like, I'm sure the military can you know, if you have, you know, Starlink or whatever, you can get on satellite internet, maybe. But if you figure that out, like, do you completely cripple us for a period of time because we have no ability to communicate?
Bro, how much are we dependent on tech?
Bro, some of us can't change the temperature in our homes without Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Like, you think about, like,
I wasn't there before, I am now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you're right.
Some of us can't do that, like, without Wi-Fi. Some of us can't control fucking basic things in our homes, lights or whatever, without, like, they're just like, you know, there's washing machines that are linked to the fucking internet now, and sure, they have buttons or whatever, but like, we're so dependent on technology that you would absolutely cripple us with something like this, and if you took it to extremes.
Yeah.
And it, dude, I saw CrowdStrike offer like $10 Uber Eats gift cards to, like.
Yeah, did you see what happened with that?
No.
So so Uber flagged it as fraudulent because they were being used so much.
They're like, no, this has been CrowdStrike.
Yeah.
Like, fucking.
Yeah, it got used so much, man, that Uber was just like,
dude,
no, this
and
can't
what
be
happens
real.
to, I gotta look at, is CrowdStrike I don't know what, fuck.
Is it what? What's the question?
No, I don't think CrowdStrike is publicly held, but if you're a, fuck, I think it is. It is. Never mind, it is. CrowdStrike Holdings Inc. Yeah, it's traded on NASDAQ. It's down 4%, you know, today, but I have to go back and it is down.
No, man, dude, not for nothing, bro.
Like,
not for nothing, man. CrowdStrike, it's good software, bro.
No. Dude, I know.
It is.
There's a reason
software,
why.
bro.
You know, the flip side of that is there's a reason why it shut down a good portion of the world, is because a good portion of the world uses it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a phenomenal software. You have to absolutely have cybersecurity software now.
Yep.
Like, I've been in multiple situations where, you know, I've worked at places, you know, or personally I've had like cyber incidents happen where you go, yo, these places earn their money, and having them in place, there's absolutely value in that. Not having them in place can be catastrophic. So yeah, and CrowdStrike, it's a shame because to your point about the file size and all that, and also you doing the line of work that you do, and you and I have worked together on things, sort of like the protocol that comes into place when you're changing something, no matter how small it is, and how you run that. And this thing, like, and you correct me if I'm wrong, if you'd have just tested it,
right,
you'd have known it wasn't going to work.
It feels like there was some negligence there, right? Because you just go install it on a Windows machine and then you'll see what happens.
And there's no way that you did it.
Like,
you shouldn't have. Right?
There's no way.
So like
you didn't either.
Is it negligence? Is it purposeful? Is it
right?
Is it a disgruntled employee? Is it an oversight? Is it that it worked fine and then suddenly it didn't? Is that a thing? Is it possible?
Did they have? I don't know. Like, because like from a corporate standpoint, sometimes we're not running the latest service pack of Windows, right? Because we're not taking the latest and greatest all the time. We're kind of waiting and seeing to see if it fucking blows somebody else up. And
especially
then maybe
lately,
right?
The latest Microsoft things have appeared to be a very like IT unfriendly, like the latest like updates. I know in a lot of places that I've been in, they're like, no, stay at this version
whatever
of Windows.
version.
Yeah.
And I've seen that before, right? And I don't know. Like I said, I'm not in that sort of sector of IT that's responsible for Windows updates. Mm-hmm. But I do know like there are times when we're not saying like it's not like Microsoft puts out a service pack and then we're jumping on it.
Yeah.
We're kind of waiting to see what happens with that shit because what we're on now is working just fine. So who knows if somebody at CrowdStrike, did they have the version of Windows that we had? Did they have something with another service pack or patch or something else that we didn't have? And then it worked, and they're just like they give it the green light, and then they push it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So like, it definitely feels like there should have been more testing. But being in that space, man, like I get it. Like shit happens.
No, we've both been in situations. Also, going back to how small the file size was, is it one of those things that's so routine and so small and so whatever that you sort of get arrogant in the like, it's fine, and you just push it.
Maybe.
And you don't. Bro, we were talking about this last week with the Secret Service shit. It's humans. And there's people doing jobs.
That's right,
some people have bad days at work, and some people just suck at their job. And there's like all of that in between. Yep. It's like we all have shitty days at work. And was it just someone who had a shitty day at work, or who did like an update? It has to go through multiple people. So there's like that aspect of it that's fascinating about this whole thing. But more so, it's like how this thing crippled just industries for a weekend, and even today, still like
it's still not.
It's still
like 100%.
It isn't resolved. Yeah. It's fascinating to see what a 10 kilobytes could do on a global scale.
Yep.
And so imagine if it's deliberate and targeted, and it's just something that like.
Dude, I wasn't even going that. I mean, I thought about that too, but I was more like, man, should I just be cutting grass for a living? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, if it's to your point earlier where you go like you take down the grid or the internet or anything sort of tech wise, and you go, my money maker is frozen,
bro. It's funny, man. I this conversation has come up more and more lately for me. It's like the and a lot of it has to do with the emergence of AI getting better and all this stuff. And I'm talking to people, and it's like whether they're trying to get things done in their house or offices or whatever, like blue collar jobs. It's like finding people to do things is becoming harder and harder, or it's more expensive.
It's more expensive.
Like, and so like whether it's like electrical work or general contractors or whatever, it's like and everything. People are just like, man, I can't find people to do it, or they're booked up for the next 3 or 4 months, or like it's like the things that you don't think. Now that's not to say that AI isn't going to penetrate those industries in some capacity, but it can't replace a guy going and building a building, right? Like we might get better at it, and it's gonna need less people, and there's gonna be machines, and it's whatever.
It might go in there and what do you call that shit?
3D print that shit. Yeah. Fucking like that's a thing. But you're still gonna need a boot on the ground doing something.
Yes.
You know, like it's just gonna be less of them, and so you go like, man, is this one of those things where it's just an industry that does AI take over fucking, you know, cybersecurity, and then goes, hey, this update, this shit would have fucked this up. Like, do you need an incident like this? Not for nothing, like to feed AI and go, oh, when this happens, this other shit happens.
Yeah.
And so you don't. And so now the QC isn't a person testing
right now, it's the AI
or 100 of them at CrowdStrike. Does CrowdStrike now drop that QA department like to 10, and AI handles like a. You know, there's just so many like variables here and so many like ramifications and like things that could happen or not happen or whatever. Like,
I would imagine that somebody got fired.
Oh God, you would. Dude, is it?
But then again, maybe not, bro.
Maybe not, yeah, bro. Or is it a guy who just fucking quit and you don't say that if you're them, because then it's sort of like it's admission of maybe some faults within your own
correct
policies and procedures. Like yeah. Fuck, man.
Yeah, fuck, man. Who knows?
Yeah, and like you said, they're a company that's widely used that is really good at what they do, typically, right? Like, they just had a fucking bad day at the office.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that bad day is catastrophic
for a lot of the world.
A lot of the world. Right, like for us, for the first world, it's catastrophic, right? For some fucking body in South Sudan, they didn't give a shit. They didn't give a shit, yeah.
They just almost beat... They almost beat the U.S. Dude.
That's so fucking...
What? How we doing on time?
First, we're an hour 5 in.
Oh, shit.
No, we should still talk about it. Go ahead. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we should talk, yeah.
WNBA All-Star Game.
Yeah.
Fucking... If you guys have not watched this, like, listen, obviously, like, for me, I've been more intrigued with WNBA because of the sort of stars that came out of college this year, right? Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, right? To name the two like at least the two top stars. So, and what makes it even more intriguing was that Team USA that's going to the Olympics was made up of, I would say, the top WNBA players.
Yeah. But it's not to say that they picked the wrong player.
No, absolutely not. But the WNBA All-Star Game pitted Team USA, who is the best of what WNBA has to offer,
had left basically
against
has to offer. No, except that didn't make the Olympic team.
No. So it was Team USA, which is the best they had to offer, against the WNBA, which is basically the best of the rest.
Yeah.
And the best of the rest put it on Team USA. And I was just like, regardless of who won, I go, what a fucking matchup. Right? Like that. It was so intriguing to me to see, let's see, because there was all this speculation of, oh man, they didn't, or controversy, I should say, of, oh man, they didn't include these people in Team USA. They should have. And then those people were on this WNBA team who freaking annihilated Team USA. Man. Which they probably needed as a wake-up call. So like, you're playing against, the world. Like, you got to go out there and do your best. But Team USA was supposed to win.
No, yes. And I think, like, you can make the argument that this was the Super Bowl for the WNBA team. But also, if you're the Team USA team, it's coming. They're hyped up to play you. They're hyped. There's girls on that team that are salty of not making Team USA.
Exactly.
They're coming. And so you got to go, oh, this is why you're not here. And so I can't buy into the narrative that, like, it meant more to one team than the other. Because you can even tell, I didn't watch the game, but I was paying attention because I was invested, because I thought it was, but the highlights that I saw, the teams are huddling up. I saw Diana Taurasi take, they're yelling at each other, doing I'm like, it clearly meant something to y'all too.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
You just got beat. And I love the fact that they got beat by a team coached by Cheryl Miller.
Oh my God,
an OG.
Bro. Yeah, OG,
I love Cheryl Miller, man.
God.
Like, she was like the OG, like, women's basketball player that you root for. And so it's cool to see her like coaching that team and saying, like, she thought it was cake, and then realized, like, the girls told her, like, no, we want to beat the brakes off of them.
Yep.
And it was cool like to see that, and then them succeed. And I also think it killed a lot of the basketball argument for like, we made some arguments on here for including Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and I was even a proponent for including, I can't think of the girl from the LA Sparks, but
I know you're talking about it. I can't think of it.
Yeah, but including, I want to say Cameron, but I could be wrong. But anyway, like including her in Team USA from a marketing perspective. But the argument that people made was always sort of like basketball related, skill set related. And I go like, oh, this killed that because these girls were all on that team, with the exception of the girl from the LA Sparks.
Cameron Brink,
yeah, she's hurt, so she didn't play. But Angel Reese put up a double-double. Caitlin Clark had only 4 points, but like 10 assists
10
or whatever,
assists, yep.
Which is impressive. Like, if you don't think that's impressive, go try to drop 10 assists in a YMCA game and let me know how that goes for you. Like, it's hard. It's hard to do it at the professional level at men or female. Like, it's hard to fucking do 10 assists.
Yep.
So, clearly they can hang with the best of the world. So not only should you have put them in there from a marketing perspective, but I think from a basketball perspective, they showed this week that they belong with that group of girls. And then, man, there's a girl who took over. I'm so sorry, I can't remember her name.
Arike.
There you go.
Agunbowale.
Just fucking goes Steph Curry in the third quarter and drops like,
she's got like 20-something points
in the third quarter alone. Like, good for her. Win off. I feel bad that I can't pronounce her name. I'm sorry.
No, but she she played so well, and she was one of those girls that they were going like, yo, she probably should have been on the team, but didn't make the cut. And then she proved that,
she was like, fuck y'all.
I
love that. I love that. And I think that's what added a sense of urgency to this.
Yeah.
And like we were talking like, man, should the men do this? Because it added a sense of urgency. It added some like a little bit of bad blood. It added like chip on the shoulder, like the it just added like the emotion, which is what you need and things like this of someone going like, well, fuck that. I feel overlooked. And I want to,
dude, I would love to see this in the NBA. Even now, so like the NBA All-Star game is usually in January?
Yeah,
right? February? Yeah. So I would love to see the Team USA, who has been, who I shouldn't say has been dominating because they haven't been dominating, but has a cast on there that is phenomenal, at least on paper.
Yeah.
I would love to see them against against the NBA,
like the people who didn't make team.
The best of the rest.
It would be fun because you'd have just really, because dude, and then best of the rest, not including international players because they're playing for their respective countries.
No, you got to include them.
You got to include them because now you're talking,
but
dude. The last
I guess you can't, right?
I gotta look. A friend of ours who's a huge basketball fan just told me this, and I can't remember. I want to say the last 4 NBA MVPs have been foreign. Jokic, I think Luka's in there. I think Joel Embiid. Fuck, man, I gotta go look at it, but I trust him because he's a massive NBA fan.
Yeah, I believe it.
Anyway, So, if you can include the rest of the world, it makes it really interesting. Or does everybody have to stick to the respective countries and you just get what's left in the NBA? Which is still good, but...
All right, here we go. Who won the last 4 NBA MVP? Giannis was the other one.
Giannis. Dude, yeah. It's all foreign.
But it says Steph Curry won back-to-back. 2014, 2015, 2015-16. Giannis won back-to-back. Oh, that's why. Giannis won back-to-back 18-19 and 19-20. And then Jokic won 3.
Yeah.
He has 2021, 21-22, and 23-24.
Yeah, so, okay, so it's...
So that's why.
So it's 4, but it's really 2 players.
It's 2 players over the last 4 years.
Okay, dude... Okay, so now shifting a little bit, and I think there's a big enough age gap between us where we might look at teams a little differently.
Okay.
There's a thing that pops up all the time on the men's side of Dream Team versus today's Team USA basketball team.
Yep.
And then who wins, and there's like social media has been on fire about this.
So, for me, on paper, On paper, today's team is better.
Okay.
The thing is that in 92, I believe that's when that Olympics was,
yes.
right? That first Dream Team is fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you have to take into account the competition in the world was not where it is today.
Yeah.
So they destroyed everybody.
Sure.
No. They annihilated everybody.
Yeah.
Whereas this team is playing against, Jokic, the last, and the MVP for the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Wasn't Embiid that fucking MVP? I'm looking at this Google shit.
He was.
Embiid was.
I thought this past season, not last season, the season before.
The last season. It was last season.
And I'm pretty sure he's, I think he can play on Team USA or is.
Is he?
But he also can play on he might have dual residency or whatever. So
yeah, I don't know why Google said that Jokic won the last 3. That's
I didn't think he won 3. I thought he won 2.
True. He won 2.
Yeah, I thought he won 2.
Anyway, so I think there's that, right? You have the 92 team that was just like insane, annihilating everybody. Then you had this team of today who on paper looks phenomenal, but the game of basketball has transcended or has improved dramatically in other countries today versus 92.
So to say that, I was trying to look it up. I can't find it. I thought I saved it, but I'm going to be close enough. Dream Team, 1992, played against 11 NBA players when they played in that tournament internationally. Today's team played against 60 players, NBA players.
I mean, there you go, bro.
Because people will say that all the time, like, hey, they dominated. They weren't playing against NBA players. They weren't like the game, and I would almost say like they're a victim of their own success. The 1992 Dream Team led to basketball becoming global and popular, and it led to Luka and Dirk and like Wemby's and the Manu Ginobili's of the world, and I think that Dream Team led to kids from other countries going, I want to play basketball and I want to do, and so like I keep seeing this and I go, it's not even close. And I know like I'm obviously like my age factors into like I think of this generation, but I even looked at the rosters and I go 1 for 1.
If you go 1 for 1, right, on paper,
and I'm like, today's team would fucking annihilate the Dream Team. Annihilate. I go, who's John Stockton guarding on today's team? Steph Curry? Nope. Like, you're not guarding Steph Curry.
Well, John Stockton was a little bit of a dirty player.
He was. So you're punching Steph Curry in the balls or doing whatever. But I'm like, there's no fucking way. And then I go, okay, Karl Malone. Are you defending Anthony Davis if you're Karl Malone? Dude, Scottie Pippen. I'm like, Scottie Pippen has to go. You go, okay, Scottie Pippen, you put him on Kevin Durant. Maybe that's neutral. But then you got to deal with Devin Booker off the bench. Is Christian Laettner stopping Devin Booker?
Yeah, no.
Who's a fucking elite? Devin Booker would be the second or third best player on the Dream Team, by the way. Like
no, but
and he's off the bench in today's team.
Devin Booker's off the bench. The guy from Miami.
Oh, Butler?
No,
Adebayo.
Adebayo is off the bench.
Yeah.
But isn't
Embiid is off the bench too?
AD's
Anthony Davis is off the bench. Who on that team is guarding Anthony Davis? Like just him. Like Pippen? Nope.
Yeah, no.
Malone? Nope. Larry Bird? Nope. Like not at that point in time.
Yeah,
like I go, you want to go these guys in their prime? Okay, maybe it's a little closer, but you get a Larry Bird who's at the tail end of his career. You get I guess Scottie Pippen and Jordan in their prime.
I mean AD's size, like that's
you can't defend that 80 size, and I can also shoot a 3, by the way. Get the fuck out of here! Like it's just like I go, and also
it's a different game today.
The nutrition, the training, the medical, it's not even. I hate comparing eras because of this because like
it's tough.
you can't. It's tough. It's a different game. There's a different mindset. There's a different training regimen. There's a different everything. Michael Jordan is phenomenal, but you go Jordan when LeBron sort of like let's call it neutral, right? And then you go and you put it up to the rest of the team. Scottie Pippen, and you go, okay, you could say Scottie Pippen maybe neutralizes Kevin Durant. is on that team. But who the fuck is Larry Bird guarding on today's team?
Kevin Durant's 7 foot, bro.
I don't think he does, bro. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't think Scottie Pippen is better than anyone on today's team. Anyone. Maybe Bam Adebayo. I know that sounds fucking crazy, bro. But I go. It
does sound fucking nuts.
It does sound nuts. But I go, Scottie Pippen is not going to be better than Steph Curry. Maybe one-on-one. But overall, Scottie Pippen's not going to be. Steph Curry is going to end up winning 4 rings as a fucking undersized guard with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. Like, there's like, Steph Curry has 4 rings. Scottie Pippen, you would argue, would have 0 without Jordan. And I know, again, you could make the argument that Steph doesn't have one without Durant and blah, blah. Like, I know that. But
no, he has one without Durant.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You can make the argument. Yeah. He has 2 without Durant.
Yeah.
So it's like, clearly, and he has a great starting cast. He doesn't have a fucking Jordan. Right. He doesn't have a Tony Kukoc. Klay Thompson, I would say, is better than Tony Kukoc. Let me take that back. But Draymond Green isn't better than Rodman, or maybe they neutralize each other.
And not for nothing, I'm glad you brought up Tony Kukoc. In the '92 Olympics, Tony Kukoc was playing for his respective country.
He was,
and the what the hell's his name? Krause from the Bulls. The Bulls owner.
The GM.
Yeah, the GM. Yeah. He was looking to recruit this guy, and they fucked him up
on purpose because they wanted to prove a point.
Jordan and Pippen.
Yes. They wanted to prove a point that he didn't belong on their team or some shit like that, and they fucking shut him down. And Kukoc will say like, "Yo, that shit was miserable. Like they wouldn't let me get away with anything." Yeah. Like, dude, I just go, Bam Adebayo, okay, maybe Pippen might be better than him. He's not better than Anthony Davis. He's not better than obviously LeBron. He's not better than Kevin Durant. He's not better than Devin Booker. He's not better, and I know that sounds fucking crazy to say because Scottie Pippen is Scottie Pippen, but, dude, Patrick Ewing, who's he defending on today's team?
AD.
You think he's defending AD? There's no way. Because what happens when AD pulls out for the 3 at the perimeter?
Yeah, no.
You can't defend him.
You're not following him out there.
And the game is so different. That's what I'm saying. Like you have a 7-footer who can shoot threes. And that's why I'm like, it doesn't even make sense to compare.
Yeah.
Because I go, okay, if you were playing in 92, it's a different thing, right? Like the 3 ball isn't dominant, but the 3 ball counts as a 3. Yep. So if you have the same skill set, you know what I mean? Like it's like the skill set from today transfers to 92. The 92 one doesn't transfer to today.
Right.
And that's where I think the disconnect is. And I'm like, maybe that's just like the sort of younger. I was curious to see what you thought about that because everything I've seen is like anyone over like 44 is like, no, fucking the Dream Team would have annihilated them. No, I'm like, there's no way.
The Dream Team was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
But we know that the talent that they were playing against was not the same talent that these guys are facing. So I still think that the U.S. team should win the gold.
Absolutely.
But watching these,
it's a harder road.
Watching these preliminaries, it makes me think like, yo, it's gonna be closer. It's not gonna be the blowouts that you saw in '92.
No, dude. I saw they beat South Sudan
by 2,
by 2
or 1.
I don't even know where South Sudan is. I didn't even know it was the South. I thought it was just Sudan. I thought this shit was made up. And like,
dude, and in Germany they beat by just a few points.
Yeah,
man.
Dude, it's a global game now. Like,
it really is.
Dude, half of the players that we like now that we tune in to watch are international. Because like some of them are Canadian, and we really like, right? Like Wiggins, right? Isn't Wiggins like Canadian? There's like a few players in there that I go, yo, that we watch all the time that are actually Canadian, so they would be on international teams.
Yeah.
Luka. Obviously, right now, it's like
Luka,
Slovenia,
Jokic,
right? Jokic, who's
fucking
Serbia.
Wembanyama's
French. Like all the big players right now that we do. Even if you think back to Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was somewhere in the Caribbean. Giannis, like Greek. There's like a lot of these guys now are from other places, and again, going back to what we were saying before, that has a lot to do with Team USA or the Dream Team in 1992, inspiring sort of kids and from the rest of the world. Like we got the Yao Mings out of that, we got the Dirk Nowitzkis out of that, you got the Manu Ginobilis, you got the Tony Parkers, you got all these guys who aren't in the league anymore, but who certainly, I'm sure the Dream Team paved the way for this like new wave of international players, and it did its job, right? Like the idea was to grow the game globally,
and
it worked. But with that means that the guys today are truly facing the best in the world. Like I saw like some crazy thing where like there was like some international team pissed off that the NBA called themselves world champs, like the Celtics.
Oh,
and it was like,
yes.
Yeah, it was like, do you take the Celtics?
Oh,
and
that
let
was
them face?
fucking that was the U.S. Sprinter.
We should do no. Like it happened for a basketball player from like a fucking championship team from some country that I've never heard of, and they were just like, oh, they should have to face us. And I go, you know, like we were talking before about the women Team USA playing the WNBA. I think that shit would be even better. Do a tournament where you take the NBA champ and you let them face the champ of every other league internationally. The fucking the Euro League.
That would be good.
The thing, and then to see who wins. So if you want to have like a real world champion,
like
they would starch the rest of the world, bro. It wouldn't even be close,
dude. And I love the assembly of all of the the U.S. NBA stars, but not for nothing, bro. Take the fucking Celtics team, and they would annihilate every team.
Jason Tatum is
bro.
better than everyone on the Dream Team except Michael Jordan. Everyone. Jason Tatum is better than Larry Bird. Jason Tatum is better than Magic Johnson. Jason Tatum, and I'm talking, Magic Johnson does a different thing. If you're talking one-on-one, you're going to score. Jason Tatum, who, I
see why you would say that. The thing is with Jason Tatum is that I think that he doesn't do this without Jaylen Brown.
Sure.
And so, I guess in a one-on-one, but there's players on that Dream Team that really sees those big moments, and man, dude. I understand what you're saying, bro.
Yeah.
Skill wise, yes, I can see why you would say that, but man, it was guys in that Dream, like I said, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan.
Who the fuck is Magic Johnson defending on today's team?
Dude, but he was. Remember, he's a big guard, bro.
Who's he defending, bro? I know.
Who's defending him?
But he's not. No.
Who's defending him?
Oh, bro, I think everybody on that team except for Steph. Everybody except Steph. Dude, Bam Adebayo could defend Magic. LeBron James could defend Magic.
But Adebayo is not a guard.
No.
He's not a point guard. So what point guards are guarding Magic?
Oh, fucking no. You would have to take the 2 guard, right? Devin Booker.
Maybe.
I don't, bro. Devin
Magic,
Booker. I think
Magic was fucking
phenomenal. That's not to mean that Magic Johnson isn't amazing, bro. I think John Stockton might be one of the most underrated NBA players of all time. I love watching John Stockton play. I don't think John Stockton is fucking with 99% of today's team. I just don't think it's happening. Like I don't think. I just.
It's a good argument, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's happening, and I don't think Christian Laettner is fucking with anybody on today's team.
No one.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm trying to go down the line.
Do you even have any college players?
Larry Bird, phenomenal basketball player. You're not scoring on Anthony Davis. I'm sorry. Charles Barkley, phenomenal. He was on that Dream Team. Who's Charles Barkley defending on the team to like today?
Yeah, but see, like Bird, Bird dropping threes. Barkley in the middle, like he's a big body in the middle. But you
throw Anthony Davis at Larry Bird. Is he getting a shot off?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think so.
Absolutely,
man.
Bro.
Dude, you got a 7-footer who can defend you on the perimeter, and Larry Bird. This is not a knock on Larry Bird. You're just okay. Even if Larry Bird scores 20. Is Larry Bird stopping then Anthony Davis on the other side of the floor? There's no fucking way. There's no way. If Larry Bird drops 20, Anthony Davis is dropping 56. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way.
But if you hurt Anthony Davis's feelings, then he might miss his shots.
Good point. Today's team is soft. That wasn't the argument.
That's right. Yeah, man, let's get out of here. On that, tell them where they can find us.
At the Common Food Podcast on IG, on YouTube, on Facebook, fucking TikTok, and then at Carbon FP Pod on X, and then all your favorite audio platforms, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you leave us a review on there, on Amazon Music, on Spotify. Leave us a review, tell us your comments. I don't care if it's good, bad, whatever. Like just leave us there. Tell us what you think. Drop in on our social and tell us what you think about the drinks, and just talk shit. Like I don't. We don't want people who agree with us. We just want to make you feel some way. We really don't care. We just want to, I think, encourage dialogue and whatever we say. And then just keep in mind, like, we're not that serious about
No,
any
not any of it.
we just like to talk shit. So
right.
yeah, drop in there. Let's have some fun. And thank you guys for listening. Been paying attention lately to the streams and the downloads and all that stuff, and it's still mind blowing to me how many we actually get. So thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna leave you out with this, man. I saw this shit on IG. It's from a library mindset. Is the account, so I got to get them credit, but I thought it was pretty good. Check this out. So I want you guys to if you can, write this shit down as I say it. Laziness kills ambition. Anger kills wisdom. Fear kills dreams. Ego kills growth. Jealousy kills peace. Doubt kills confidence. Now read that right to left.
Oof. That's fucking Trump right now, writing that shit on his mirror in the bathroom. Oh, accurate, man.
And as always, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.